#1 podcast in the world.
Sean Strickland.
Discus Du
Plesis.
That was wild.
AWOL on us, dude.
I was holding my finger above my head like this.
Did you fail at any goals this year, and what did you learn from them?
No.
You're on fire tonight.
A lot of people have been asking me about 300, and I'd be lying if I said that big things weren't in the works behind the scenes. So this feels like the perfect opportunity to officially announce that Betr is now giving 300x payouts. That's turning $10 into $3,000 instantly with an 8-pick lineup. Go download Betr and play Betr picks today. Merry 300 Xmas.
You haven't made your brisket in a minute.
I did one at the very end of fall.
Have you made one since you cut your hand?
Oh. I got to tell this story, bro. So, like the second or third time I ever made a brisket, I was having probably 20 people over, and it was all my wife's parents' friends. So they're all super cool. We've hung out with them a bunch, but they're all, 40s, 50s, but we're just a lively bunch, very fun people.
Yeah.
And our house was just stacked. So I'm like, all right, I got my brisket down. I'm going to do a brisket for everybody. Let's go. And the day before, so normally I just cut my brisket with whatever chef's knife I had. But I was like, I want to do it right. So I went to a local, it was like a kitchenware store, and I bought this super dope brisket slicing knife. It's like 3 feet long, and it's very, very sharp, obviously. And so brisket's perfect, everything's good, and I'm slicing the brisket up, right? It's on the cutting board, and everybody's having a good time. They're drinking, they're hanging out, it's loud, there's a bunch of people. It's like an open concept kind of living room, kitchen area, and everybody's together. And Tony is telling a story. I don't remember do you remember what the story was?
Must have been a good one.
Tony was telling a story. So
I was really into it, I think.
Mind you, while I'm cutting this brisket, I have black latex gloves on,
right,
so I don't get stuff all over my hands. So I'm cutting it. And as Tony's telling the story, I'm at the very end of the brisket, and it kind of caps off, so it's not easy to slice. And it's a little harder too because it's a thinner part, so it cooked more. And I'm looking over, and I'm just like, oh. And I go to cut the brisket, and knife just slides off and just slices my index finger so bad. And but I have black gloves on, right? So and I didn't react at all. I almost didn't know what happened at first. But I knew I just felt heat on my finger. And and I just immediately stopped, dropped the knife, and nobody noticed except for my mother-in-law. And she's this little tiny lady, the freaking cutest, best lady ever. And she goes,
you were like,
and I just grabbed my finger, and she was like, you just cut your finger, didn't you? And I was like, yes, I did. And I just ran straight to the bathroom. And when I got to the bathroom, I pulled the glove off, and it looked like a murder scene. There was so much blood everywhere. It was just, it actually, when I pulled the glove off, it kind of stuck to my finger. So it didn't really come off smooth. It kind of stretched and shot out. So then it splattered all over the walls.
Oh, bro, you're being so descriptive.
Dude, yeah, it was bad. And so so my mother-in-law was the only one that noticed. So she sprinted in after me and is helping me out and stuff. So we wrapped it in toilet paper and paper towels and stuff, and I was holding my finger above my head like this. Bro, it was so bad. I still let me see here. Nah, I don't have a scar. I don't really scar. I don't do that.
Yeah,
but it was probably an inch long cut. It was super deep, and
it's my fault, dude. I was telling a good story.
Telling a great story. So she got it all settled and handled, and then I walked back out, and I think everybody kind of clapped, but they all knew, and I was like, all right, guys, well, we're ready.
You're about to have some bloody brisket.
Yeah. I didn't get any blood on the brisket. I saved it because
allegedly
that wasn't an option. The brisket was going.
Yeah, that's the last time I remember having it.
I made it plenty of times.
I haven't had it since then.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, we'll do another one then.
Yeah.
Do a winter brisket.
Sounds delightful.
Mr. Beast came out with a new video, and the whole concept was...
Who's Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast, biggest YouTuber in the world.
I know. I was just saying that to mess with you because you love him.
I love Mr. Beast, dude.
You don't know Mr. Beast? He has 100 billion followers on YouTube, and he makes $10,000 million video, and he does it in 70 different countries. It's the craziest things ever. They played tag in an amusement park. It was insane. I'm like, okay, dude.
He has 200 million subscribers.
What's the scenario?
200 billion needs zillion subscribers.
Where's he trapped in now? What's the scenario?
All right, so this was he
made a guy stay in a grocery store for a month.
That happened.
Dude, you have a grocery store. What? I don't get that.
I would never leave. I would literally never leave.
This is a good scenario for you guys.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the concept of the video was he put two strangers together, and if they could last 100 days, they win $500,000.
Oh,
where?
What?
Just in a very well lit room. The lights never go off. So
guy and girl.
Guy and girl. So my original question that I had written up was, do you think you two could do it together? And that's an easy answer.
Bro, I don't even want to go down that road. Why don't you just hit up Mr. Beast's editor and get us on one of these scenarios? Because I've seen things where you got to hold a finger on a
Lamborghini
jet to get the jet. I'm like, dude,
I would never let go of the jet.
We're getting the jet. Regardless. So get us
We're
in there.
getting the jet. The jet is ours. Sign the paperwork.
Do you think that you could do it with a stranger?
Do what? Stay for 100 days?
100 days in that room with a stranger.
100%.
I mean, I could. $500,000 isn't that important to me, though.
Well, I'd
rather just be training.
I'll just train in there and I have a body weight.
Just beat the crap out of them. You're trying to leave. You're like, no.
So that's the thing is, do you think you could convince the other person to stay?
Oh,
because if they leave, you don't win any
so
money.
Convincing.
Yeah,
he's so convincing. I definitely could do it too.
Easy answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we both convinced our wives to marry us, which is way harder.
We already did the hard thing.
Yeah,
so.
that's like your whole life.
Yeah.
Imagine being trapped in a room with me for your whole life. I convinced a smart, college-educated, athletic girl to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd be all right.
Next.
Fair enough. Obviously, did you guys watch the fights or did you see the clips?
I actually did watch the fights this weekend. I wanted to watch them.
Oh, I saw some clips, yeah.
First off, we got to talk about this. Josh Emmett with one of the hardest punches in the entire
Bro, that was
world.
bad. Yo, you know why that happened? You know what happened?
Because you guys have beef.
Because what was the guy's name again? Bryce Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bryce Mitchell decided to talk shit to me one time on social. And he was saying, it was basically when I said that,
he did talk shit. He just
No. I'll explain the scenario. He got what was coming to him. All right.
So messed up.
So listen. So I said I was on Ariel Hawani. Ariel asked me when I'm going to be fighting. Would I do the prelims or something? I said, Ariel, you think I'm a prelim fighter? And then I said something along the lines of, I would just retire if I had to fight on the prelims. And then Bryce Mitchell went off on me.
Which
he didn't say my name. He wasn't direct. He
commented. But I just learned that this was his first non-prelim fight, so it makes a little more sense.
It makes sense. He was mad about that, and I get it was a little disrespectful. So, I didn't mean to be disrespectful. I didn't consider other people's feelings when I made that comment. I was just talking about myself.
Yeah.
But he decided to mouth off, and guess what, bro? That's what happens.
Boom.
I will win at the end of the day.
That was bad.
Ilya, it wasn't enough. Had to get him one more time. Tony's so embarrassed. Can't do that.
Bro, the guy was shaking after.
No, that was really bad. I was uncomfortable. That was a bad knockout.
Yeah.
But I don't know if, not to change the subject off of, because this isn't about me, even though I made it about me. I thought it was cool how afterward Bryce thanked Josh for not following up.
Yeah.
And Josh was like, you're welcome. Obviously, when I hit people, I don't need to follow up. It was
said that?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, so we double violated. Wow.
Well, he wasn't really violating. He was more just saying, like, I'm the hardest hitting 145er in the division.
Interesting that he doubled down on it, though.
Yeah, he doubled down on it. And, but yeah, that was just nice, little classiness in MMA.
Yeah, that was...
Unlike me.
I didn't see that. Who did we pick for that?
We picked Josh Emmett.
Okay.
We did, yeah.
Did we hit our bets?
Let's move through the card a little bit here. So we start with Josh Emmett. Next one on there was Paddy and Ferguson, which sucks.
Yeah.
Hate to see it.
Yeah, Paddy got him. But it was a good fight.
Well,
Tony got beat up a little bit.
Do you think he should retire?
I think he should have retired 5 fights ago, but that's not my call. It's his call.
True.
So, do your thing, man. I don't know. It's hard when you want to go out on a win when you were at the top of the sport at one point. So, you know, like I said before, obviously I just wish him the best because he's not in a great position. He's obviously a competitor, wants to keep going, but
that stinks.
he can't. Like, who's he going to fight? Is he going to fight some dude that off the regional scene? No, he's Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
So he's got to fight good guys. So it's a tough position. Anyways, well, thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Yeah, his will and mind are at a different place than his body and skill set and age and all that. So it stinks.
Sure. Yeah, it does.
Moving up the card a little bit, the fight that I got right that you guys kind of doubted me on. Shavkat.
No, we said if he grabs him, he's gonna submit him.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Oh.
What are you talking?
And then it turned out he hurt his ankle. That's why he didn't want to strike. So
right.
Well, yeah.
Well, he just literally
he was a dominant win, domination.
He wrestled him the whole time. I said if he wrestles him, he's going to win. We said that. That was clip us back in saying this exact same thing.
A good fight.
If
for
they
2.5 minutes.
if they purely strike, Wonderboy will piece him up.
yeah.
Okay.
If he tries to take him down, if he takes Wonderboy down, then it's gonna be more competitive. But if it's just striking, Wonderboy will piece him up.
Yeah.
If he strikes, he will lose. If he wrestles, he'll win. He wrestled. He won.
That's crazy. The first time he got subbed though.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
dude,
Wonderboy.
I can't believe Shavkat has 18 fights and 18 finishes.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
Who do you think he's going to fight next? You think he has a shot at like fighting for
Well,
the title?
I know they kind of want to give him the title shot, but I feel like Bilal deserves it. Bilal's one of
Throw him against Colby.
Colby
Dude.
won't fight him.
You don't think?
I don't think.
I hate Colby
That'd be
Covington.
good.
Colby's in a weird position.
Who's
now.
that? Who else is coming up at 170 right now? He needs like one more fight. Let Bilal and Leon fight, and then give him somebody else.
There hasn't been anyone
Gilbert.
on like
Give
a
him
win
Gilbert.
streak.
Oh, Gary, but
Ian
Yeah,
Gilbert.
They're not gonna
Ian
do
Gilbert,
that.
he's
Fight
a
each other.
10. Well, you also that was a.
What about Gilbert Burns? Gilbert Burns has won a couple. No, Gilbert Burns just lost to Bilal.
Yeah.
oh, but that's still.
It's still a good fight.
Oh, Gilbert's fighting someone. They
Oh,
just
really?
announced, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think that he should fight Usman.
That'd be a good fight too.
I think that'd be like a great matchup
Yeah, Usman back down to 70.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
because I don't think Usman's a 185er.
No, I think he just
Did it
fought
for
to fight.
did it for the
He also
money.
fought at 170 at 185. So they were supposed to.
Yeah,
It wasn't like he fought at 85er.
that's true.
But anyways, yeah.
Moving on, Pantoja, great win.
Mm-hmm.
Pantoja got a big win.
Good.
Yeah. I was happy for him. Excited. ATT represent.
Love it. And then let's just talk about the worst fight that I've ever watched from an individual, Colby Covington. That guy
bad game
freaking
plan.
sucks.
I didn't watch it.
So he just like tried to strike with him for 4 rounds pretty much.
Wow.
And Leon did a great job. Leon made him, fight his fight. He controlled pretty much everything. He made a couple mistakes in the grappling scenarios, like a couple where he got taken down. But he got back up for the most part, aside from the last round. And he won the fight very easily. Didn't get hurt. Didn't get really hit at all. So I think obviously Colby didn't fight well, but I think Leon fought well. I feel like as bad as Colby fought, Leon fought well. So you can't really take it away from him because he went out there, he did what he needed to do.
Right.
It's not his problem that Colby's couldn't follow a game plan or had ring rust, whatever it was. Like Leon fought really well. I think.
He's in his stride right now. He's got to
Yeah, he's doing really well.
keep that up. Keep that momentum up.
Yeah.
He's by far the best 170er, like in the world. No one in the.
Well, we'll see if
come up.
when he rematches Bilal. Obviously we already talked about Shavkat coming up, so I think there are guys that are, going to be able to give him some resistance and stuff. But if Hamzat goes back down, that's a freaking tough fight for him.
Tough fight. I agree.
But yeah, I think
I think Islam wants to go up too.
Islam would be a tough fight for him as well. But I think that's really competitive, in my opinion. Like,
Really?
I feel like Hamzat comes down, he would probably beat him up. But Islam coming up, even though he's a big 55er,
Leon's big.
Leon's big.
Yeah.
Leon can freaking strike. Colby was able to hold him down a good amount, so who knows? But I think that, and Leon's smart. He keeps his cool, so I don't know. And Islam, he's not like 100% grappler. He tries to strike a lot. He tries to strike a lot with all the guys he's fought pretty much. So yeah,
Yeah.
The last fight of the night, it was unscheduled on that same card.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Strickland, Discus Du Plesis.
That
was wild. That was funny. I thought it was funny how he asked Gilbert's kid to move out of the way. What I don't know is when he had good technique. He jumped the chair. He got on top of him. There's no rules, bro. Why was you not throwing 12 to 6 elbows?
Yeah.
Boom, right on top of the head. Boom, boom. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you know, that easily. That was the only thing that I saw. He should have been dropping 12 to 6 right on the top of the dome.
I thought it was funny that Dana said, "What kind of
that he sat them there?"
Yeah, he was so mad about that.
He sat him there. He said.
He's like, "Why did I do that? It was so stupid."
I feel like he gets fake mad about stuff like that. Like the perfect example is like the Conor Khabib bus thing.
That's what every single time
pissed,
that
it's
happens,
like, dude, that made you $1 billion.
Like, you guys think I like this? I don't like this. I don't like this.
Yeah, it's like, dude, this is boosting the ratings 10,000%.
Yeah, that was wild.
Oh man, yeah, that was cool though.
When did they fight?
January 17th.
January.
Oh, it's really soon.
Who do you think is gonna win that fight? Have you watched much of them?
I watched. Yeah, I've watched them both. With the way Driscus has looked his last 2 fights, I would pick him.
Yeah, I think he could beat him.
He's really surprised me.
I think it's a really competitive fight.
Yeah,
I think it depends on, like I was saying about the Colby fight. I think you're going to tell a lot from the first 2 minutes, and then from there you're going to kind of see how it goes. Like if Colby would have taken Leon down the first 2 minutes, like I think Colby wins that fight.
Very different fight. Yeah.
Same thing with Driscus against Sean Strickland. I think if Driscus can get him to the ground, like
yeah, but that's not really his game. Like he got Darren Till on the ground, but Darren Till just has very below average grappling. Driscus is just more of a. He's definitely better striking than he is on the ground.
they're both. Yeah, I think they both like equally well rounded.
And I think Strickland's pretty good at getting up.
Yeah,
He's not really. He's a good grappler, but his best asset in grappling is his getting up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's going to be a really competitive fight.
Yeah.
And obviously, the trash talk has been intense.
Dude, MMA trash talk recently has been going far.
It's been crazy.
Yeah,
Just insane.
yeah, hard to watch.
Yeah, I don't know why people are doing that. It's too much. I don't know, man.
I feel like McGregor, Izzy, those guys are all like out of the picture now, and so that they're like trying to grab onto something, and it's like you're just reaching for the wrong things, dude. Like,
dude, it's
dead
bad.
family members and
what Colby said
abuse.
was way too far. Way too far.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
I just feel like if you want to say something like that to somebody, doesn't matter. You're just kind of a bad person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're. I mean, especially if you just double down on it over and over, and
It's just not the
just
move,
go with
yeah.
it. I just feel like that's just not good character. It's
Yeah.
low character.
Well,
just not good person.
That's what I hated about it even more is Colby Covington when they were doing the face-off, and he said, "I was in character, man." I'm like,
No, he
That's
said
not-
you thought this was a character. You thought that
Yeah,
was a
they
joke.
slowed it down, and
He was doubling down on it.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
makes it way
Which
worse.
is
oh my god.
either way, it's like
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just what people think they need to do nowadays.
Jake Paul
Big
Ooh.
KO.
Big
slept
KO.
him.
That was sick.
slept him.
Freaking beautiful uppercut.
The
Well,
thing-
bam.
The thing that I wanted to comment on in that is that Andre August guy did not look like he should have been in the. Did you watch any of the match? It wasn't very
Yeah,
long.
no, I watched it.
I don't think that he belonged in that ring that night in specific. I think the lights kind of got to him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. He hadn't really been in a high pressure situation like that, and but he's got a lot of experience. I think quite a bit more experience than Jake. And people always try to, whenever you perform really well against a guy you should beat, people try to knock that for whatever reason.
Right.
And it's like, well, yeah, you did what you were supposed to do, but also there's something to be said about that. Like going out there, performing, doing your thing, regardless of whether you should have knocked him out or not. The fact that you did it, that speaks volumes. And at the end of the day, the most important part is that just will give Jake more confidence because he knows what he's capable of. He is building his reputation more. And
his whole thing for the fight was like to fight a guy that a pro boxer would fight at his stage in his career. Like,
yeah,
like a guy who's 10-1. It's for Jake's like whatever 7th fight or whatever it is. It's pretty on par.
I would say even ahead of par.
Yeah.
If you look at a lot of guys in their 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th fight, look at a lot of great pro boxers. They're fighting guys that are 3-8.
Yep.
Or 1-2 1-5 or stuff like that. They're not fighting 10-1.
Yeah. So
Professional boxers. So I feel like it was a definitely in his mind an appropriate matchup, if not a challenge, which he obviously rose to the occasion. So I don't know. I was impressed with that.
I'm curious to see where he's going to go next after that too.
Yeah, we'll see. I know he wants to fight Diaz in MMA, which would be sick. Obviously, if he wants to learn some wrestling, we'd help prep him, get him ready for that, take down defense, shut him out. And
he'd be hard to take down.
Yeah, dude.
Diaz, he's a big boy.
And Diaz has not a takedown guy.
No.
Was he going to pull guard?
Yeah.
Dude, also I think Jake would sleep him with little gloves, like for sure.
Yeah,
bro.
that's a
little
good,
gloves is a big difference.
It's a good fight.
Yeah,
for him.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would be really cool, especially coming into. I mean, his last loss was Tommy Fury, so he's 2-1 in his last 3 fights too. So a lot of confidence going into that.
Definitely.
Speaking of people going to MMA, I had a question for you guys. What athlete from another sport do you think would be really good at MMA? And you can't. Let's exclude combat sports like boxing, wrestling. I had some written down. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts were.
Say what you think so we can disagree.
Draymond Green, 147 technical fouls in his career.
That doesn't mean he's a good fighter.
He has.
I don't know. I haven't watched
I got
that
one
much.
who's really good.
All right, go.
Zlatan.
Bro, that would be great. Bro, can you imagine Zlatan question mark kick?
Oh my gosh.
TKO.
That's my pick.
That's a great answer.
That is a really great answer.
Also had Ray
Lewis.
Lewis.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis would be a good
He's
fighter.
a wrestler.
Yeah, he wrestled in high school.
Wrestled in high school.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know names, but any hockey enforcer. Those dudes are all 6'8",
Oh
and
my
like
gosh.
big as hell. And they're
Those
not
dudes are
fighters,
great.
but they fight in their sport. So I feel like any hockey player that's like a big enforcer dude.
That's true. Those dudes would dominate BKFC.
Oh
my
bro,
God.
they'd be great for it.
Like, we don't have to wear skates?
Dude, they should start a spin-off of BKFC where they just fight on, or maybe they just wear jerseys. I'm trying to like piece this together. I was gonna say they put them on skates in a ring, but it's just ice and they have to fight. But and it's like 3 rounds or whatever, 3 1-minute rounds. Or they could do just they have jerseys on, they're on their feet, so they can grab the jerseys and stuff. That would be intense.
Yeah. Do
Just
like an enforcer games.
Hockey fight league. HFFL.
Hockey fight league.
You like it? It's good stuff. Trademark.
Yeah, those enforcer dudes are sick.
Yeah, they'd be good.
Other one I had in here, Serena Williams. I couldn't think of another female athlete to add in there.
Stop trying to be politically correct.
Yeah, I mean, throw it in there.
Let's get a girl that we think could actually fight.
Who else would you?
I don't know. I don't feel like Serena Williams could fight. She's a tennis player.
But she's strong. Like, I mean, like,
I guess. I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of film on her.
neither have I. But like,
But dude, there's like, I don't know. I feel like there are definitely other girl athletes that could fight.
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, she could
That would be
definitely
a
fight.
great.
Who's that?
She's the basketball player that was trapped in Russia for having hash on her.
Oh, yes.
She could definitely, dude. You imagine, dude. She's got freaking crazy reach. She's like a Deontay Wilder type. She'd be knocking chicks out for sure, bro.
Whatchamacallit? Speaking of people getting arrested, did you know that in like Bali and the other countries that you get like they can put you to death for like bringing a large amount of marijuana into their country? Crazy rules.
Really?
Don't do it.
Crazy rules.
Don't do it, kids.
Always be crazy.
Where else? You've been to a bunch of places in the world. Where else would you want to go?
I'm good where I'm at, man.
You don't like anywhere else?
You know, Ronan, I think you should just worry about being you.
That doesn't make
All
any
right.
sense.
Don't worry about me so much.
Hey, listen up.
Yeah. You do you. Okay. I'll do me.
All right.
Next question.
France. I'd like to visit Paris. Or maybe,
You have?
South of France. No, I've never been to Paris.
Really?
I've been to Nice.
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 Okay.
The hell is that?
So that's how you pronounce
You don't know
that.
Nice, France? You're
No,
so untraveled. Anyways, let me give you a little lesson here. So Nice is the south of France. It's on the Mediterranean. It's a short train ride away from Monaco, Monte Carlo, all right? City and a country in one.
Had the sandwich before. Monte Carlo.
Okay. Anyways.
Great sandwich.
But actually the richest country per capita in the world? Monte Carlo. No. Monte Carlo is a city. Monaco. All kinds of dope yachts, cool stuff. But yeah, it's a nice place, man. Nice beaches, good food. Was there for a wrestling tournament when I was 18, so I had a fun time. But yeah, you should go.
Yeah. Can I have a day off to go there?
No.
All right. Well, I nip that. But Tony, you already been to Greece. So.
Hold on. Ask nice. Ask me nice. We'll see if you can have a day off.
Bo, could I please take a day off to go to Monaco?
No, you may not.
I want to go to Italia, man, Malta, and then I'm good. Then I can just stay here and have a couple houses here and there, and that's it.
Boom. That's how
Fair.
you do it.
Great answer.
Absorb this information.
Great answer. I really want to go to Japan.
Well, yeah, that's all three of us want to go to. Yeah,
nice answer.
We're gonna do a group trip to Japan.
group Japan trip. And I'm not really. I want Tokyo for a few days, maybe like a week. But I want to visit the Japanese countryside.
I want to go to the monasteries.
Yes.
I want to learn like some
the olive
crazy
farms,
wellness tips, and yeah, I agree.
Be amongst the what are those trees called? The pink ones?
Cherry blossom trees.
Is that what you have in the
trees.
freaking?
Yeah.
Be amongst the cherry blossoms.
Dude, Schultz was talking about our boy Jiro.
Yeah.
And he was saying it's trash.
What?
Jiro dreams of sushi.
He's saying it's not good?
He's double every time I hear him talk about it, he like doubles down on how bad it was. He was like almost inedible. I'm like, dude, okay.
Is he a sushi guy?
Yeah.
And he likes sushi and he didn't like that?
Yeah, he hated it.
Maybe it's just a different style over there.
Yeah, it must be like super authentic, but
I couldn't imagine
I
being
can't.
bad.
The dude dedicated his entire 89 years of life to.
He dedicated 89 years of life all for Andrew Schultz to call his work trash.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I feel like it was okay, and he was like, "If I say this is trash,"
he might have just hyped it up super heavy. Yeah.
Still, I'm just like,
well, we still got to try for ourselves.
yeah,
but I'm just gonna forget that was ever said.
yeah.
In Japan too, have you ever seen that they have like sleep pods? Like they have some crazy methods of hotel.
Crazy technology, huh?
Yeah, so
Really?
that you can like rent like a 5x5 little room with literally just a bed in it, and it's like I don't know how much.
Be perfect for you and
Yeah.
Tony to stand together.
Yeah,
Sounds amazing.
exactly. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Spent 7 years of my life like that, and the Japan thinks they freaking invented this whole thing. Ever, dude.
Have you seen our old apartment?
I saw Tony's old apartment, and I thought I was
No. We don't talk about that on the pod.
Too far.
Too far.
too far.
My private cell, and it wasn't for viewing.
Can't air out his dirty laundry on the pod. Literally.
Right.
I had a spot for every single thing. Just because it was the size of this room doesn't mean that it wasn't
It
efficient.
was not as big as this room.
It was a little smaller, but it was great.
Um,
Now I live in this big house. I got married, and there's so much
Yeah.
room, and
What do you even do with yourself?
sometimes I just walk around it and like,
Whoa.
yeah,
What's going on?
Who needs two bathrooms?
Well, yeah, one's a half. But still.
Dude, that was something I had to get used to when I got this place. It was weird not like doing work in my room.
Yeah,
Like
'Cause you had
having
an
like
office.
a separate room for like everything.
that is nice. I
Weird.
don't know. I still have an office in my room, but it is nice having separate, like a chill room, an eating room.
What's it like not having roommates for you?
I personally like it. I like being by myself. So like I also don't like when
Real loner, mysterious.
well I have Tim. I do have Tim.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about Tim.
Tim sticks around. He lives in my closet. But
Whoa.
yeah, he didn't have money for rent, so I was like, you can take the closet.
All right, okay.
Anyway. I don't know, man. Like I like it for right now. I mean, dude, I'm 23. Whole life ahead of me.
It's true. But
I'm only gonna have this
you
once.
did make a good chili today, though. Proud of you for that.
Thank you, man.
You did
It's one of the few things I'm good at.
good.
So
It was really good.
appreciate it.
Very
Yeah,
good.
appreciate it.
Second time I've had it now.
Yeah, I did make it during Bo's last fight week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get the opportunity to indulge.
Tony, what was are you good at cooking at all?
Define good. Like,
Like like you would cook for someone else and be like, oh wow, that was really good. chicken
I'll
parm.
tell you this. My wife loves my eggs.
Oh God. Goodness,
Dude, a frat
gracious.
guy could cook those.
And
Good Lord.
what else?
All right, let me just explain. So Tony, we lived together 7 years or so. I don't know, maybe more, maybe less. And the entire time that we lived together, I saw him cook exclusively 4 things maybe. Eggs, potatoes, sometimes white, sometimes sweet, chicken, and ground beef. And none of it had any salt on it. None of it had any pepper on it. None of it had any seasoning on it whatsoever. And this was this man's life. He would eat eggs and potatoes with ketchup for breakfast. After workout, he'd have a sweet potato and a protein shake. And for dinner, he would either do unseasoned chicken with another potato or ground beef with a potato, all unseasoned. And then maybe sometimes once in a while he would put some Frank's Red Hot on it.
People pay good money for the information that he just shared.
And this was 7 years of his life. So can Tony cook? The answer is no.
Bro, here's my philosophy on cooking.
I seasoned his chicken for him once, and he went, "Oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever had in my life." I was like, dude, I put salt and pepper on that. Imagine what would happen if I actually seasoned it.
Bro, he's wild with the seasonings, first of all. He's like,
I'm not wild with the seasonings.
Making it all like it tastes good. But
I'm a freak. I'm a chef, dude.
This is my philosophy. I have another thing on that. This is my philosophy on cooking, dude. We were just talking about this. I cook for efficiency, and the amount of effort that I would have to put into making my food taste good for like a 10% increase of me enjoying my meal is not worth it to me.
Dude, but going like this with a couple of spices, not that hard.
It's not worth it for him.
It's not worth it. Like I'd rather, because it makes it a little better. So I'd rather be like, no, this is just not good. I'm gonna like just eat it to eat it, or it has to be like really good. Like if someone's making me food, like when Bo cooks, or my wife, or my like pops or my family, like I know it's gonna be good, so I'm gonna enjoy it. But when I'm cooking, it's like it's just me. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm just trying to get the nutrients in. Now I am increasing my game a little bit if I'm cooking for my wife or someone else, because I'm gonna put some love into it because I care about them. But for me, it's like no, you're getting it, and you're not gonna enjoy it.
So you add just pepper and salt?
No, nothing.
No, nothing.
No pepper, no salt.
I can just picture your spice cabinet, just one thing of salt that's like half used.
He doesn't have a spice cabinet.
Yeah.
He has Himalayan salt to put in his electrolyte
Yeah.
if you need it. Redmond's real salt.
Yep.
You know, there have actually been some new research on Himalayan salt and said that it has strands of mercury in it.
Yeah, that's why I don't use Himalayan salt. I use Redmond's real salt from Utah. Free game for you guys. So Redmond's real salt, go look them up. #1 salt in the world. For multiple reasons. One, the mercury stuff. Also, do you really want your salt traveling thousands and thousands and thousands of miles to you from, the different places that it comes from on shipping containers, and all this chance of, different things to come in contact with it? Or do you want it coming from Utah? Right?
If we don't have a sponsor from them at the end of this pod, you're fired. No, but I've been watching a lot of chef movies. I always like chef stuff. Burnt. I just watched No Reservations.
Oh, I love that one. That's so good.
I don't remember that one.
Catherine Zeta.
Catherine Zeta, she's a beautiful woman. Not my cup of tea, but she's attractive.
She's great, and that's the perfect role for her.
Yeah,
it's
perfect. What was I gonna say? But so I've been watching a lot of that. I watch a lot of like mise en place on YouTube. Like I appreciate the discipline of a good chef. Absolutely. And that is my new answer to your question that you've been asking at the bachelor party and other things, like in an alternate reality, because that's enough like far away from what I do currently that I think I would be like a Michelin star chef.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that for you, bro.
Thank you.
I love that for you so much.
I wouldn't.
You like the discipline of it.
The discipline of it. Yeah.
So you'd be like a French traditional chef.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't. I wouldn't like. I probably wouldn't be big on eating my own food, but like I know that everyone else loves it.
You're like, I don't care about this.
Yeah,
but you're gonna care about it. Oh, I love that for you, bro. That's amazing. Good stuff.
What do you think you are in another life, Bo?
There's many other lives.
Yeah, we talked about
things.
this a lot.
I would say, I don't even remember what my number one that was. I would say right now, I'm watching a lot of Suits, so I'd probably be a lawyer in Manhattan.
It's a great show.
Yeah, so
Great
I'd probably just like wait for other lawyers to try to come beat me at a case and then just bitch them out. Just like Harvey Specter.
Every time we ask this question, it just depends on what show he's watching. He's like, I think I would be a Viking warrior.
I think I would be a plumber who wears overalls and a red hat with an M on it. And I would have a brother that wore the same outfit but in green. Oh, man. No, but yeah, I don't know. I think that I would do something in business or law or
Bird law.
The best damn bird lawyer you've ever seen. Or owning a bar in Philly would be fun with like
owning a bar would be cool.
my friends and
in Philly.
Yeah,
It's like four of your closest friends.
4 of your closest friends, and then one of them being an old guy you share a bed with. That would be fun.
Top 3 all-time show.
You know what I think would be cool as well is to be a private pilot.
Ooh.
Be like a pilot. Because I was talking to my wife about this the other day. This is funny. I was like, we were driving by the airport and I was like, oh dang, I'd be dope to get a pilot's license, this and that. And I was like, dang, could you imagine if I was single and I took a girl on a first date and it was me taking her up in a plane? Game over. Like, forget about it. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, imagine like if a dude like took you on a date and the first date was, oh, let's go fly my plane. And you go fly and it's like all beautiful in the sunset and all that. And she was like,
That would be great.
What are you doing? I'm 9 months pregnant. I was like,
no.
I was like,
imagine.
Can a man dream? Yeah, just hypothetical, obviously. Duh.
That would it would be a power move.
I feel like I just want to get a pilot's license though anyways. Like, that's something that's very reasonable to do anyways. Like I'm going to have to do something after I retire and make, $100 million bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Put some time get some time in the air. Get some miles.
Great answer. Great answer. I can see it.
Who knows? Anything's possible if you believe.
That is fair.
All right. What's up, Ronan? What's next? Direct the conversation.
Come on. You're getting in your head. I know we're dropping a lot of knowledge on you. But
Ronan's like,
sorry, I need
pilot,
to take
chef, lawyer. Like,
No, sorry.
There's a lot of jobs out there.
Like, that's a great... I'm going to get my pilot's license to solely do that.
All right, well, don't copy me.
If you get your pilot's license, you're just going to be
driving
our
us around,
jet
flying us around.
pilot.
Camera in one hand, just facing backwards.
Yeah, we do need to clarify. Not all of us need to get our pilot's license.
I'm good. So
One of us.
you guys figure
There's
it out.
no point in multiple people in our group getting a pilot's license.
Any big goals for 2024?
That's a deep question.
Yeah. You didn't preface anything before you dropped that on
I think
us.
it was like that. It's pretty...
Just go ahead and drop a bomb on us, just like the most important thing.
We can't just riddle off goals.
Well, the other one's also in Let's Get...
You know how much heart and soul I put into my goals? It's unbelievable. It's multiple suns worth of power. It's ridiculous.
The other question I had written down was even deeper. It says, did you fail at any goals this year, and what did you learn from them?
That's a great question.
I would ask you to say, let's get deep, because that usually like switches my mind into it.
Well, usually I'm not.
We're not even on the let's get deep yet. This dude's going way deep.
Wow. AWOL on us, dude.
Yeah, bro. Come on. All right, let's talk about failure. No, I don't do that. And if I have at anything...
You're on fire tonight.
There's still multiple weeks left in this year, so it ain't over till it's over, bud. But I've already accomplished everything I want, so we're good.
Yeah, I can't complain either. The woman of my dreams. I'm pursuing my passion. God loves me. Great family. Great friends.
Thank you. Dude, you had a good year.
Good year.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
It's a big year for you.
Big growth year in areas that I haven't put attention on previous years.
Definitely. Yeah, it's good. I feel like You're making good choices.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Ronan, you're doing okay.
You'll get there.
No, you're figuring a lot of things out, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think that this year for me, I failed at all my goals this year.
Well, let's hear it. Let's talk about it.
So
I can help you with that.
some pretty lofty goals. I wanted to get you to 1 million followers on Instagram.
Ah, dang.
Failed.
We're close, though.
50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Failed.
Where did we get to?
We're at 3,400 or 30,400.
All right.
Close. Get a girlfriend. Really failed at that one.
Can't help you with that.
Run a half marathon. Back bothered me. Couldn't do it.
Oh, I forgot about that. That kind of fizzled out, huh?
Yeah, dude. My back was so messed up.
You let it slide.
It was bad.
It slid out
And then I started bulking. I was like, God, running. Can't.
I mean, you started eating Oreos?
Dude.
All right, continue.
Yeah. But I think that me failing in all those, make six figures this year. Failed. And I think that all of those things, they were lofty, but at the time I didn't think they were. And I think what it taught me is that like a year is very short. Like it's not a lot of time to achieve some of the goals that you set out for yourself. But I did set myself up to accomplish those goals in a better fashion next year. And I think that that's what my big takeaway from not achieving those things this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important, too, to note, like, that's a lot of stuff to do in a year. And those are a lot of big goals. So I think it's important to not try to, set the bar lower for yourself. It's almost more important to set it higher to where it's almost unachievable that, you're going to end up further along than what you would have if you'd have set goals that were half as big, right?
Yep.
Like if your goals were half as big, maybe you would have got them all and that's all you would have got. But, you did better than that. So, I think that setting big goals like that is really important, almost unachievable to where, sometimes, at least for me, like I don't even want to tell people my goals because I'm okay telling people I'm close with, like you guys' goals, but I don't want to tell everybody my goals because they're going to be like, they're not going to understand. They're going to be like,
project their energy on
exactly,
it.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you should keep setting bigger goals.
Yeah, I think, for sure.
I think a really great Matthew McConaughey quote that he talked about is like,
all right.
he was talking about like, it was some kind of speech. He just won an award and he goes, somebody asked him like, who's your hero? And he says like, it's me in 10 years.
Nice.
And who's your hero again? Like, it's me in 10 years from now. And I think about that a lot. Like, I think about putting myself back in high school and would that kid be proud of me today? And I think that's super important to me now, just like thinking back on that. Like, am I making my younger self proud or am I being like a degenerate and doing stupid stuff?
Yeah. There's one quote. It's like people overestimate what they can do in whatever it was, like 6 months to a year. And they underestimate what they can do in 5 to 10 years.
Right.
So it's like what you're on that process of building your momentum to get where you want to be. And you could have set a goal, like Bo was saying, for 25K subscribers and hit it. Maybe you would have been at like 25,001. But now you're almost 10,000 more than that because you set a loftier goal. So I think you're right on par with that. Set
for sure
huge goals, shoot for the moon, land among the stars.
Yeah. Well,
Kung Fu Panda? I don't think that's in Kung Fu Panda, but it should be.
Well, I think that like in general, you learn we've talked about like learning from your losses again, like you learn a lot from losing whatever it is. And like you also learn a lot from failing your goals. And I think that was like at 23, like losing is one of the best things that can happen to me because as Gary Vee puts it so greatly, you have so much time. So much time to do great things, so much time to like go out and achieve the goals that you actually want to achieve.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And people want everything right now, which it's not a good strategy, not a good long-term strategy. But on the other end, I also like what Elon says, and he basically says, how can you achieve your 5-year goals, your 10-year goals in 1 year? Like try to just like really like figure that out.
Yeah.
And so instead of I think it was I can't remember what car manufacturer. It might have been Henry Ford or somebody like that at the beginning. Like nobody believed that they could basically manufacture that many cars, or narrow or basically streamline the process well enough to where it was reasonable. And he was like, we're not just gonna, or no, it was a I can't remember what automaker, but anyways, they said they got bought out, and they were like, all right, well, what's like the most outrageous goal that we could achieve this year? And they're like, we want to do like this many cars. And they're like, all right, so that's like the most you think you could possibly do, like top end in 1 year. And he was like, all right, yeah, that's it. And they're like, all right, you have to do it in 6 months or you're fired. And then they were like, what? Like freaked out at first. And they're like, there's no point in freaking out. Figure it out. Yeah. And then they did it. And it was like unbelievable.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so I think that I've been bouncing back and forth between that too, because I don't want to expect everything to come all at once, but I also have had scenarios where I tell myself I want to achieve this by then, want to achieve this by that time, and then instead of and then being like, you know what? Why not? Like, why not bring that in? Why not do that this year? Why not do that now? Like, why do I got to wait 3 years to do it? So I think that you kind of got to balance them.
Yeah, there's a law. It's called Parkinson's law. It's the goal that you have will fit to the timeline you give it. So it's just like what you're saying. It will condense to six months, or it will stretch out to a year, but the process will be the same.
Right.
So it's like the idea of what you're explaining, and I think there's definitely a place for that. Like, think of a goal that I like to kind of review my year and set my goals right before the new year, and just think about, okay, what can I set a goal for 3 years, and then like, all right, let's condense that into one. And there's a place for that, which is cool. I haven't really thought about that.
Right. No, for sure. I feel like it's you don't want to sell yourself short. Basically, I think that the main idea with goals is wherever you set them, if you're intentional about it, it's probably what you're gonna get, and whatever you really believe. Like, I think some people set goals for themselves too that maybe they don't really believe. Like, they're like, oh, this would be nice. Yeah. But that's not really that's not really a goal. That's more like a thought.
Yeah. It's the clarity that turns into a goal.
Dude, I got to message this guy back, but you remember John Gordon?
Yes.
He spoke at Penn State however many years ago.
Yep. And Long Island dude.
Yes.
Who is he?
He's a motivational speaker. Okay. He's written a few books. Amazing speaker. Oh. I just remembered this. So he messaged me right after, or maybe right before or right after my last fight. And I didn't get it until after the fight. And then a bunch of stuff was going on. So I didn't hit him back. But I'm going to hit him back now, because he basically just said like, good luck or whatever. And then he said, remember, I'll just pull it up because I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah.
But dude, it's a sick quote.
He was great.
Oh, here it is. Bo, I'm rooting for you. Commitments are greater than goals.
Wow.
Ooh, I loved it.
That is a great line.
That's sick.
I'm messaging back real quick. I just remember reading this briefly, and I don't know why it just popped in my head right now.
That's cool. That's like perfect. Yeah. What a dope DM.
That is a great line.
You remember you remember what he talked about kind of at
faintly.
Penn State?
Yes.
I just remember he was talking about like what successful people have in common and stuff, and he was like, there's one trait, it's one word, and who knows it? And I was just like immediately thinking in my head, and I was like, I think I know it. And he's like, I'm gonna give you a hint that starts with a G. I was like, oh, I definitely knew it. And somebody raised their hand and goes, grit. And he was like, no, but that's a good one. It's a really good one. And I was like, gratitude. Dude. And he was like, boom, there it is. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, he did a great speaking event at Penn State. We all ended up going for, I don't know if it was required or not. I don't think it was. But
it was just an athlete thing.
Yeah. But he was awesome. We all loved it.
For sure.
Do you guys buy into that kind of stuff a lot? Like the motivational speaking? Do you think it like kind of depends on what they're saying? I feel like some of it's kind of gimmicky.
I just pick and choose. Like if it resonates with me, it resonates, and I'll choose to take motivation out of it. It never hurts to get motivation out of little things. But if it's someone credible and like I know about them too, then I'm more likely to listen to what they're saying.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of good messages out there, and a lot of people that are basically, preaching a lot of good, positive things. And I think that the people who, I guess, are just trying to make money or do their thing, like they kind of get weeded out for the most part. If their message doesn't really stand up, then I think you can see that. And especially if you are in tune and aligned yourself with, positivity and your own goals and your own values in life, like you can kind of weed out who is genuine and real and who's not. But I think there's a lot of good messages out there I enjoy listening to. How about you?
Me?
You don't believe in that, do you?
I don't really. The motivational speaker thing, I don't know, man. Maybe at like one time in my life, but right now, I mean, like my big motivation, I've thought this, I had a conversation with myself. Have you guys ever like just talked to yourself
all the time
about
every day?
Like that's what I did. I talked to myself in front of a camera, and I talked about like I asked myself like, what is like the big read? Like, what's your motivation behind doing this? And one of my answers was I want to make my parents proud, because like that's super important to me. Like I want my mom and dad to know that like I'm good. I want to be able to take care of my parents. And then 2, like something that's very interesting. I don't know if I've ever talked about this with you guys, but my friend Louie, who passed away in a car accident, he was a wrestler. And I remember going back for the first time and like talking to his parents and stuff, and they were like super proud of me for like working with you guys and stuff. And so that was also one of my big motivations, just like to honor him. So I think that like watching those motivational speakers, yeah, it might give me like the instinct of like, oh, like, yeah, like let's go work out, whatever it is. But I think that the big difference between people who are successful and unsuccessful is their constant motivation to doing what they're doing. And I think that the motivational speakers are great to maybe like reignite those things, but I don't think that should be like the sole thought of doing something that you want to do.
For sure. I think that just to kind of clarify, the person that's going to stand up and try to be like rah, that type of thing, that's not really, for me, I don't really like get motivated by that either.
Right.
I was more talking about people that have practical, applicable ways to improve your life or to achieve goals.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I agree with what you're saying. The people that are like, you can do it, blah, blah, this or that. Like that stuff doesn't really do much for me. Like I'm already there.
Yeah.
When I need anybody to help me to get there. But I enjoy listening to people more, I guess, advice. And I don't know what you even call that, but that type of speaking. But like we were talking about John Gordon, and he talks a lot about basically, to like summarize, it's like how to live a better life and achieve your goals and things of that nature. So, and just practical ways to like win over yourself and your mind versus, like get pumped up. Like that's not, I don't really, I feel like we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. I phrase it a little bit differently.
Yeah, I guess motivational speakers to me were more so people that are trying to teach something to help people achieve their goals. But there are people that just like try to fire people up, which some people need that. Like I said, I personally don't. And I think you're kind of alluding that you don't either, because it just needs to be consistent.
Yeah. I think in general, the most successful people are driven by like something that they have their eyes on, like whatever it is. And I think that's what makes successful people successful. Like you have a drive to be like some of the greatest fighters of all time, right? So that's a goal. Like you want to be pound for pound. Like you want to win a belt, and that's like that drives you, right? So I think that having those aspirations and that I don't want to use the word motivation because that's not the word I'm trying to use to describe it, but that drive to want to achieve something that big. I think that's what makes that's a huge difference in the difference between, in my eyes, successful and unsuccessful is yin and yang. Like, there's no in between. Maybe you're an in between trying to get there, but the difference between successful and unsuccessful people are just like, to me, it's like black and white. Like, I think that there's certain qualities of successful people, and then I think that there's a lot of qualities for unsuccessful people. Like, I don't know if there's like a real big.
It depends what like area of success you're talking about. Like, someone cannot be successful in their career, but maybe they focus more on the relationship, or they're working to balance it out. But I hear what you're saying. Like, there's certain qualities that you exhibit, like discipline, dedication, commitment, hard work ethic, like those kind of things that you're referring to that point towards someone being successful across the board. But if they don't exhibit those, then they're probably in a spot in their life that they don't want to be at, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's all kind of in your mind, right? Like what Tony was saying, some people want a lot. Some people are very content and happy with what they have. And I think that being successful is more about, self-mastery and getting what you want versus, what anybody else says is success. Like, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are extremely wealthy that are less, in my mind, less successful than somebody who, has nothing but is happy and content in their life and their relationships and with themselves. So I feel like whatever your goals are, you can definitely be successful or unsuccessful at it, but it's based on that person and their goals.
Right.
Like, what you're saying is very true. I think that there's a lot of you can look at people that are content, not content, happy, unhappy, successful, unsuccessful, and wherever they're at in life, whether the world looks at them as successful or not, it's kind of in their own mind, really.
Right. Yeah. The last question that I had before we get to wrapping this up is, what was your biggest takeaway from this current year?
I think that I had a lot of big takeaways that were really good. I think that 2022 was a good year for me to let go of judgment of other people and judgment of myself. And I think that 2023, so it was something more so that I needed to let go of. And I think 2023 was a good year of growth in what I want to prioritize as a person. And I feel like a lot of what I was battling was having such big goals in my career and wanting to achieve, big things versus just being a good husband to my wife and being a good dad to my son who's going to be born soon. And I don't think you have to pick. I don't think that I have to be unsuccessful in my career to be a good dad and a good husband, but I do believe that it's important to make the choice of which you prioritize over which. Because I think what I see, at least from a lot of people, that they prioritize one or the other, and then your choices and your time and everything's going to kind of align around that. And so for me, I feel like I'm not to take away from any of my goals. I still am going to achieve those just the same. They're still just as important to me, but it's just more important for me. My family is more important to me than those goals. And again, I think maybe it sounds weird, like, oh, you got to sacrifice for one or the other, but I don't really believe that. I think I'm just going to be the best version of myself, continue to grow, continue to improve, but also prioritize my wife and my son over myself, basically.
Yeah, mine's kind of similar, but I think I took away like a new layer of life from this year. Being so self-oriented, like Bo was saying, and focusing on my own improvement, I felt like I reached like a good max of that point on my own. And then now that I've met my wife, we got married, and a lot of this year was just growth relationally. You know, when you're, like I said, when you're alone, there's only so much you can do. But when you incorporate someone else into your life that you're relating to, in a loving relationship, day in, day out, it just introduces so many more areas that you can be better, and how you can be a better example of, you know, what God designed us to be. And he says, you know, in the scripture, it's not good for man to be alone. So he creates Eve for Adam. And I think a big reason of that is, like I'm saying, there's so much growth and understanding of yourself, of the other person, of people in general. You start understanding your friendships better. You start understanding your relationship with God better, with yourself. And so my biggest takeaway this year was just a new layer of depth to my life that I didn't know before. And now it's like a new layer of joy, of understanding, of humility, of ways that I can improve, of ways that I can serve another person. And it's just exciting to have that added on to what we already value so much in our career and in our personal life. And it's like, I feel like then there's gonna be a whole nother layer when you have a child, and it's like, it's just very exciting to have so many different steps that God puts in our life to ultimately draw us closer to him, but also to understand ourselves better. And it's really cool. So that was like another checkpoint for me this year, was the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that one thing that's really big, that I don't know this for sure, but I feel like what type of energy you put out, it really gets given back to you. And when you decide, I believe that when I decide to put positive energy and effort out into my relationships with my wife and my son and my friends, that gets put back into me, and that allows me to be better in every area of my life. And most people think of it as a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going to sacrifice time away from my work or away from social or whatever it is to be with, you know, maybe family members. But
yes,
I think when you prioritize them and you give them that positive energy, you're really teammates.
Yeah.
And we're all in it together. They're going to be able to feed that back into you. And really the universe is going to feed that back into you as well. And you can, you know, reach even bigger heights on, you know, whatever areas you were maybe trying to trek solo prior. So, you know, again, I'm just learning and trying to figure this out, but that's like the inclination that I have, right? It's kind of maybe reverse of what the world thinks, but I think that's the way that I think a lot of things are that way in the way that God designed us and the way the world is working currently.
I agree 100%. 2 years ago, I would not agree, because I thought it was going to be a sacrifice and take away from what I want to do. But now I definitely agree. It just adds to life in general. Like, I can't explain it any other way than like, it's just more life. And so, it adds to what you do in your career. It adds to what you do on your own. It adds to your daily interactions. It's just love. Love is never going to hurt you from what you're trying to do or accomplish. And if it is, then you're not focusing on the right things and dealing with it correctly.
Yeah. I know we usually like wrap up kind of at this point, but I feel like I want to continue this, because I feel like the more I want to have so many experiences in life, and I respect people that like pick. We were talking about Jiro earlier. Mm-hmm. Like, he picked one thing and he just did it for 90 years.
Yeah.
But personally, like, I don't want to live my life that way. I feel like I get more out of experiencing a bunch of different things. And I think that the natural human instinct is that all these things take away from each other, but I don't believe that anymore. I feel like they add to each other, and part of being on this earth, like being able to, like we've all been very blessed to be able to experience a lot of different things, a lot of cool things, a lot of interesting things, and meet a lot of people. And I feel like you almost, for me at least, like I want to chase that, feel more of the different things, and not only my relationships and in what I'm doing, but like really whatever God brings me. Like he's bringing different opportunities, different people. Some could be viewed as positive, some could be viewed as negative, but when I look back on however like 27 years of my life, you know, I've pursued like when I was young, I was very, very laser focused on wrestling. That was it. And really from probably 23, 24 to now, I feel like from 23 to now, I've had more life experiences than from 0 to 23 because I've been more open to those things and more receptive from what like God is putting in front of me. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't want to look back at 57 and be like, wow, these 30 years, like I poured them all into this one thing and I was so zoom focused on it that I missed out on all these other great things or just more so. I don't think of it negatively. I more so think about it at 57. I want to have as much growth as I did from 23 to now. Like, like every year more and be more open and learn more about just what's going on in the world and stuff.
That's a great take. I think that the term that you're using is like a generalist, like doing a bunch of different things, right? Right or wrong with that. But like you're honed focus on like a couple, right? At the time.
More so what I'm saying is that I'm interested in experiencing the whole range of I'm in the whole range of like life, you know, versus having to I respect and I very much zoom focus myself on certain things, but I think that it's wrong when you feel that God's putting something in your life and pulling you in a direction to not listen to that and to just stay on your own path of your choice. And I think that the important part is discerning what's distraction, what's worldly versus what is a message. But I feel like I really enjoy just a lot of different things.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd have to agree with that as well. Life's too, like, going off, like, I think one of my big takeaways this year was that, like, you only live, like, it's really cliche, but you only live once, right? So why not smell every flower that you can? And I think that one of my biggest problems over the past year or two was being, like, very hyper-focused on getting good at one thing, but just, like, videography, photography, like, all falls in the same category, I'm saying. And that made me miss out on some things in college that I kind of wish I experienced, but I don't regret it or anything. It's just the fact of, like, now I recognize that, you know what, maybe going out on a Wednesday night with friends isn't too much of a bad thing. Maybe there's something fun there. Like, it's an experience. Like,
that's not really what I'm
I know that's not what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is more so like, so I didn't go out in college at all, and I don't regret that and wish I did. What I'm saying more so is, like, there's different areas of your life that you can experience that aren't good to cut off. Like, I'm not saying, like, go party, go do whatever, go do this type of stuff. I'm saying, okay, if I have a career that I'm focused on, that's great, but I don't want my career to take away from relationships. I don't want, you know, anything that's, like, I don't want to take away, like let's say there's opportunities to make more money. I don't want to chase that in lieu of being able to spend more time doing something else. You know, I want to be able to experience more things on a positive sense. It's not like just let loose and just do whatever I want to do because it feels good in the moment. It's more so like there's genuine things in life that maybe you feel like you can't do, or that maybe whatever societal pressure is telling you, you know, you can't. Like, I liked starting MMA because I got to start over doing something and pursue that with my whole mind, body, soul, and but at the same time, it's like if the point comes when I need to change directions and do something new, which it will, I'm not gonna be afraid and hold on to that, or feel like, oh, this is the only thing I know. Now I gotta just be an MMA coach or be a wrestling coach and fall back on it. It's like you got a lot of time to do a lot of different things. So But I think people, but again, like I said, I also respect people who just pick the path and take one thing. I just feel like there's a lot out there, and I don't mean it. People might take that wrong and think, go party, take the route of least resistance. Like every path I take, for me personally, I would like it to be the narrow path, the more difficult path. But that doesn't mean that there's not multiple of those down the road. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was just a bad example.
I know, yeah.
But like the point of like experiencing different things is something that like is part of life. Like that's what you should be doing. Like whatever that experience ends up being, like if you want to go, like I have the inclination to go play the piano, like I should explore that.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like rather than just, I felt so like, I think that being narrow-minded is a gift and a curse, because like you were saying, like traveling the path less traveled, like, which is typically like you focus in on one thing and you become like very good at it. It's okay to like kind of go through those nooks and crannies in the forest, and eventually like there's something else out there. Like there's a different berry to pick. There's not just oak trees on the path. There's something else.
Yeah.
You know,
what I'm hearing is like you're interested in exploring your interests, not your urges.
Yes.
Like you have a lot of things that like a pull on your heart that you're like, oh, I would really like to like walk down that path and see how far I want to go down it. But still, if you like zoom out from your life, it's still very narrowly focused. Right. But you're just like, oh, I would like to like take these tree roots like a little bit and see where they lead me. And so I think that's amazing. And that's going back to like the success thing. And now that I think about it, like I wouldn't say it's black or white, because someone can be exploring like 6 interests at a time and having the time of their life and feel successful. And to them, they are. And if they're living in a morally like acceptable way in their mind and in the eyes of God, like they're successful. If someone is diving into one thing for 30 years and mastering it, and through that they master themselves, like they're probably going to think they're successful too. So it's all like subjective. But as long as, I think what Bo's saying is like he wants to explore his interests and not give into the easy thing. Like, yeah, I would really like to go out and do drugs or like go sleep around, because that's like what I'm being, my urges are calling me to. It's like, no, it's not that. It's like, let's not cancel out any other idea of what my interest can be because I'm pursuing one single thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not about at all like the urge of, every human has natural urges and feelings to do certain things to self-medicate or just make you feel better about yourself in that moment. But really what I'm talking about is more so stuff that just feels like a part of life's experience that aligns with my values. Mm-hmm. Like if I feel like something aligns with concepts that I'm interested in doing, like I really enjoy creative problem solving and something that is difficult, something that is, not many people are going to do, that's high pressure. Like as long, and amongst the other things, as long as it kind of aligns with that scenario, if I can get there through whatever avenue this is, like that interests me. Like I kind of want to pursue that a little bit. Right now that's fighting and a little bit of business. That like pursue those things. And then obviously relationships are a similar thing. Like it takes a lot of discipline and effort to have healthy, positive relationships. So you have to put time into those, and there's a lot of creative problem solving in that. So I feel like that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not the urge of feeling like, you know what, I really need to eat a whole cake right now, or feeling like whatever, I want to go do this or that. That stuff, I think that's always going to be a struggle. It's always going to be something that you feel as a human, but I feel like moving past that, now you have a good system set up to find success in areas. What areas are you going to pursue? And some people might pick one, some people might pick 2, some people might pick 50. And you're probably, if you pick 50, not going to be as good at all those 50 as somebody that picks one as he is at that one. But that's everybody, that's your choice. Mm-hmm. And I'm more so saying like, there's a lot of things that kind of grab my attention, and I don't mind putting a little bit of effort into different things.
Our longest pod yet.
Longest pod yet.
Hour and 21 minutes. Yeah. Just wanted to say, since it's our last pod of the year, thanks for everyone that's listening. Thank you for everyone that's subscribed to our channel, follow the podcast. Really means a lot to us. Thank you, Justin, Mikey Locks, Liz, all from Betr, for helping us out. Shout out Tim behind the camera. Thank you guys.
Thank you, bro.
For giving me a bunch of advice.
Thanks for sneaking on here and making it making it a better podcast than what it was.
He pulled a little saint, just crawled in there, and then found his way onto the couch. Love it, bro. Very grateful for you, Ronan. You do a lot of work. You do a lot of stuff. You know, obviously you're on the pod, but you do a lot behind the scenes as well. And we both appreciate you, all the work that you put in to help grow this thing.
Of course. Appreciate you guys.
And you evening us out.
Yeah,
you
really rounded out. Otherwise, we're just looking in a mirror. So it helps us a lot, and we're taking over. Nickals and Times is taking over in 2024.
Number one podcast in the world.
Thanks to you.
Number one podcast in the world. You heard it here first. But yeah, thank you. Love you guys.